now proudly presented on SNME. That's Sunday night's main event.
Full ties, heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Want some teammates at the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, and I am here, Destiny Wrestling pre-recorded for the Destiny Wrestling vs. OVW show, and I have the reigning, defending Destiny World Heavyweight Champion, Trent 7, one of my good friends, personal friends. It's true, we actually have each other's phone numbers. It's incredible. How are you, my man?
I gave you the hookup, didn't I?
You did give me the hookup.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Back again, home away from homes. Big match feel tonight.
Big match feel tonight.
Yeah, 3 of the best of Destiny against 3 of the best of OVW. Laying it all on the line, no holds barred, falls count anywhere. I don't even know what the rules are.
It's going to be mayhem.
It's going to be absolute chaos. But that's exactly what, the Battle Arts Mississauga, the legend of this building knows, everyone knows. When you come down here for a pro wrestling show, you get a high quality level of pro wrestling, and especially when Trent Seven's involved.
That's factual. Now, you've been affiliated with Destiny for a very long time. Yeah. Before the NXT UK run, even during the NXT UK run, and then after NXT UK closed and you were kind of a free agent, you were still here, you still stayed loyal, and it's incredible. What does loyalty in professional wrestling mean to you? It may seem like an outlandish question, but as much as there is a lot of brotherhood and camaraderie in wrestling, there's also just being loyal and remembering those companies that were there from the get-go and put their stock and faith in you.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a nice attitude to have in life, really, no matter whether it's wrestling or not, is just to be able to pay it back. That's what's the most important thing, because we're all in the same boat when we started wrestling. No one makes any money. If you get into wrestling for the money, you ain't going to make any anyway, right? So so everyone's in that kind of same boat on the way up. You just got to look after each other. You got to go out there and have the best match you can. Compared, on the position you are on the card, and promoters, it goes the same for. There's some great promoters, there's some shit promoters, but at the end of the day, the wrestlers are going to go out there and try their hardest and try their best to put smiles or frowns on people's faces. Meant to put frowns, not frowns
absolutely.
because it was shit. But more so, that's the whole point of our industry. Is the more that people work together, the better it always the better the outcome always is for the fans. And in reality, no matter how much you want to paint it or how much you want to, piss around talking about advertising and TV and all this kind of stuff, it all boils down to what the reaction is from that live audience.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If the fans don't make any noise, I don't know if you've ever watched WrestleMania on mute. It's not as good, right?
No, it's not. You got to have
still,
that noise.
Yeah, and that's the joy of being freelance now and back on the independent scene, is that ebb and flow of that relationship with the customer. Do you know what I mean? That relationship with the fan, and I feel like that's the whole point of it. As you move up in wrestling, and your chances come, and you take them or you don't, and there's a lot of luck involved in it as well. Obviously, it's about right place, right time, doing the right thing. when those bigger opportunities come, it's all about just paying it back, and it's always about we always wanted to carry on doing as many Destiny shows as we could when we were signed to NXT and WWE and whatever. So I feel like it's really important is to just. It's not necessarily I don't think of it as loyalty. I just think of it as it's your job. That's your job as a wrestler. As you grow through the ranks, you just got to remember where you were when someone else gave you a helping hand up. Do you know what I mean? I think that should breed a good and kind of wholesome industry. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that's 100%. You're right. Paying it forward, the wholesome industry, all those things. In terms of your entire career, and I know this spans quite a few matches, was there ever something that you went into with low expectations, maybe in terms of a crowd or a performance or a match type, and it exceeded or above exceeded your expectations of the end result?
I don't know about anyone else, any other wrestlers watching this, but I always had a funny feeling so I'd come back from a match, I'd be like, that was good. I feel like maybe I left a little bit, there's a little bit more I could have done, or something best I could, just something better I could have done, or tried a little bit harder here or there. And then I watch those matches back and I go, fuck, that was great. And then the match 2 I come back and I go, nailed it. I watch it back and I go, oh man, you were full of your own shit there, weren't you? You know what I mean? I probably could have tried a little bit harder in that one. But I don't know, that's what it is. watching your matches back is kind of links to what we were just saying about the crowd reaction. You know, watching your matches back and watching yourself and trying to analyse it, but knowing full well that the crowd were having the best time ever. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, because the whole point is that crowd were blowing up and going crazy. And sometimes, you know, you have to do a lot. Sometimes you don't have to do as much. But then when you watch those, matches back, you go, fuck. They were a very, very good crowd to wrestle in front of, man. I hope I get to wrestle in front of them again and I can give them some more.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I mean?
So let's talk Wembley. I remember when AEW was making their first show at Wembley, we're talking about how you were looking forward to hopefully maybe getting an opportunity on that show. Didn't happen, but they're coming back. We're getting another round of Wembley Stadium. How much?
Pre-sales.
Absolutely. Incredible. The first one was a resounding success.
Yeah, massive success.
And it was, you know what, not only was it a massive success, but I think personally, and I've been to a few AEW events, and I've watched a lot of their pay-per-views, I feel like the Wembley show was consistent from top to bottom. I don't feel like there was a lull or it was a stacked card. So have we made any contact? Are you trying still to work and get an opportunity?
Yeah, there's there's still communication there, but you know, like sometimes you just have to you just got to keep spinning the plates. You just got to keep doing your best and like, you know, constantly working on just getting in better shape and you know what I mean, and just making sure I'm in the shop window as much as I can. And there's so much wrestling now, and you know, like don't get me wrong, I know I'm great. I know I'm a world champion professional wrestler. I know I can do it at any level against anyone, and that's the confidence that you need to have as a performer, right? Mm-hmm. But then I also look at it and I'm like, yeah, they just signed Edge. You know, maybe I'm not right top of the list right now. Do you know what I mean? They just signed Edge. They just got rid of CM Punk. They're just selling tickets for Wembley. They just signed Will Ospreay. He's like the number one wrestler on the planet right now. That Trent's time will come.
Yeah,
it'll
absolutely.
be fine. But you know, if you're a professional wrestler in the UK and you haven't got your target firmly locked in on that, is it 25th of August, right? I think this year, next year. You know, it's a massive goal for people to work towards. You know, luckily some people like myself are in slightly more favourable positions already. So, got to keep the fingers crossed, keep working hard. You know, and good things come to those who wait, right?
Absolutely. It's such a simple saying, but it reigns so true. Good things come to those who wait. One of the cool things about the relationship that you and I have is that we developed this friendship over time. I've been able to call a couple of your matches here. It's been an honor and a privilege to call those matches. Been able to watch you work, been able to sit down with you, been able to, you know, get the hookup every now and again, which I appreciate, and it's endearing. But all in all, what is it like to, I guess, just have people have a perception of you and then dispel that perception? And I don't mean I had a negative perception of you. I meant that I'm like, I thought for sure. I didn't know, but you are incredibly down to earth and humble. And I'm not saying that I've ever had a bad reaction with anybody, but you're incredibly down to earth and humble. And just how you remember me, you hug me, you spend time with my mini host when she's floating around. Like, it's just incredible. Does that surprise you in any way? Do people have that perception?
Like, all the way through my life, I've wanted to have not wanted to have that people to have that perception of me. It's just just is who I am. Like, you know, like if you're frosty with people and you know, I mean, everyone gets up out on the wrong side of the bed sometimes, right? And this morning I wasn't the happiest man on the planet, but I'd slept like a log. I don't know what it was. Who knows? Maybe it's the food over here. I don't know. There's some additives in the food over here in it that we don't get in Europe.
This is true.
Maybe it's playing with my emotions a little bit. Yeah, but like I don't know, man. Like similar to what we were saying about paying it back. You know, like you don't know you don't know where people woke up, what mood they woke up in. You just got to treat everyone with the exact same level of respect. And if they fuck you over, then you know, shit. You know, they might have been in a bad place at that time or in a bad space. So just let them be. Life's too short to just be constantly arguing and constantly sad and angry, bitter with people. We're all in this industry together. Do you know what I mean? From guys doing backstage interviews to you doing the ringside announcing now. Do you know what I mean? To the mini hosting, to the referees, to the timekeepers, to the people who are going out there in the main event. It's one big show and it's one big family of people that just need to get on with each other. And real magic only happens when people are just nice to each other and just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I view the world. You know what I mean?
I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, right. Just be nice, man. Like, there's always going to be someone who really gets on your tits. And, you know, everyone's got that little hit list where they think, you know, if I could definitely get away with it, maybe I'd fucking...
That Kill Bill. That Kill Bill list you're going to cross off your top
you know,
five.
like Cody Rhodes list, the famous Cody Rhodes list. No, I'm joking. Like, you know, we've all got our kind of like little arch enemies in life, but life's too short, man. You just got to go out there and just have fun and make the crowd as happy as you can be, and sell some merch and sign some T-shirts and just have a great day, man. Wrestling's cool, man. We have such an incredible opportunity, and it's so easy, you know, for like some of the guys. Like, you know, I'm very lucky that I get to travel so much. Some people are stuck in Ontario or stuck in Toronto, you know, and they're doing the same kind of loops, and I can understand why it gets frustrating at times, and same old faces, same old thingy, but you know, hopefully it's just little things like this, or me explaining it from a kind of third party outside the box perspective, that'll just click people into going, you know, you've got to enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
Because there's been so many times where I've been so sad and so underwhelmed with wrestling, do you know what I mean? More so recently in the last few years. But like, you know, I'll go back to like putting like me and Tyler winning the world tag titles at fucking Royal Albert Hall. Mm-hmm. And then I go, fucking hell. Imagine being sad about this when that happened to me, do you know what I mean?
I go back to the first time that I saw you all of you all the time was that UK tournament.
Yeah, I was talking about that today. Right?
That tournament is still fire. Still fire.
We were talking about like working live, you know what I mean? Either streaming live or whatever. And I was like, well, the first real time I got to do that was when the WWE did the tournament, UK Tournament 1. Mm-hmm. We hadn't even wrestled in the WWE ring. You know, we did our tryout, but we hadn't even wrestled in front of the cameras. Nothing. They just went, right, you 16 independent wrestlers are now doing a live feed to the network. 2-day live tournament.
You're like, what the heck?
And we were like, fuck it, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Bring it on. Press play. Press record. Let's go. And you know what I mean? Like, sometimes that baptism of fire is... you know, is the coolest thing, right? So it just puts the pressure on, and people perform under pressure all the time. So.
Baptism by fire is incredible. Baptism by fire is an amazing situation to be in the right situation. Yeah. Has there ever been a baptism by fire situation, not WWE related or any time in your career, or even in your personal life, where you walked into a situation kind of expecting a left and you had to make a hard right?
I remember once we were at an Access show.
Okay.
And I was scheduled to arrive at 8:30, so it's like a 7:30 bus. I get on the correct coach to take me there for 8:30, and I'm sat next to Larry Zbyszko, and I'm like, how bizarre is this anyway, right? So me and Larry Zbyszko are on the way now, just chatting shit, and we get to the thing, and I walk in, and they go, you're on next. I went, what? They went, you're on next, 5 minutes. I just went, so what are you talking about? I said, I haven't even got here. I'm not even in the building. What are you talking about? No, you're on next. I was like, well, I'll go and get changed, but I'm probably not going to be out there next. Like, I don't know what you expect me to do. I'm not in my clothes. And they went, oh, no. And someone had just got the running order wrong. That's what they'd done. So someone had told them that I was in the next match. And anyway... So eventually it turned out that I wasn't on next, and I had to go out after a Sting Q&A for 20 minutes. So I was on the card after Sting. So it's a pretty cool finish to the story.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then I'm a Sting mark.
Yeah, and then the next day I think they did a Q&A with Kurt Angle. And it was Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero was the match that everyone in the arena, the little show, watched it with Kurt Angle, and then Kurt Angle did a Q&A about it, I think, something like that. And then I went on after that. Like, you want me to go and follow Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero? That's a baptism of fire.
That's a baptism by fire.
Can you follow Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle? No. Quite simply put, no. But you just go and do it. It was just great fun. And like I say, it was just the best learning experience ever.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your fashion sense, man. You got a unique sense of style, and I absolutely love it. And the post that you post, everything looks like you could see that in a magazine ad. There was one picture where you posted, I believe you were somewhere tropical, and you had on these kick-ass pants, you had on the white, and that shirt. And you were just sitting on the table, but the way you had your legs crossed and the way it was positioned, it was like, I don't know if he's doing it for the gram or if it's just factual.
I mean, arguably, anything that goes on the gram is for the gram, right?
Fair enough.
But yeah, you know, it's not like I keep my finger right on the pulse. It's just you just got to look smart, haven't you? You know what I mean? Especially like I'm not saying I'm in the public eye all the time, but you just don't know when you're going to get called. And it's good to have a little capsule wardrobe. I don't have a lot of clothes, to be honest. I just buy clothes that fit, and if they don't fit, I'll take them to the little tailors by me. Mm-hmm. Big shout out to the Blooms menswear boys. So I'll take them there, and then they'll edit them a little bit and tuck them in a little bit, so you get that kind of that little pinched bottom that I've got. So it just makes everything fit, and you just feel a bit better, don't you? You know what I mean? It's like when you put a nice shirt on, you go.
Listen, I put on. I'm dressed to the 10 today because I got to represent, right? And I also have to compete with the Trent 7s of the world, man. We got to stay on top. My final question: when it comes to paying it forward and everything that you've done in terms of building your career, building your brand, but also seeing the next crop of talent coming up, is there anyone you feel on the indie scene anywhere, doesn't have to be the UK scene, doesn't have to be here in Canada, anywhere, that fans should really be keeping their eye on, somebody that you're looking at closely saying, that person's really got specialty written all over them?
Yeah, it always puts me on the spot, that kind of question, because, working on the indies now, I get to see
Okay, let me revamp it. Is there anybody that you haven't worked yet that you really want to work?
Oh, that's a good one. There's a young gentleman that wrestles over here called Bryce Hanson, that very much looks like someone I know very well. So I don't know.
He absolutely does. I know exactly. Look him up and you'll see exactly who we're talking about, guys.
Maybe Bryce Hanson's either going to be in my corner or maybe on the other side of the ring at some point in our future. I think that'd be great. There's just so many, man. Even Fueza, I still haven't got the chance to get in there with him after being here for a year.
He's my best friend.
Yeah, he's the big don, man. He's got a bag of talent. Then you got Vertigo as well. I think there's just such a good crop of talent here, and in the UK as well, it's just crazy. You got Leon Slater and Doris. It's just, it's never ending. But yeah, there's some great kids. There's a guy up in Montreal, Jan. What the fuck
is it Zane Harrison?
Zane Harrison.
Yes.
Yane Harrison.
Yane Harrison. That's right.
Wild talent.
Yeah, great talent.
19, 20 or something like that, maybe 21. Mm-hmm. Super talented kid, man. But yeah, there's just so many. We did a really pretty big actually. I was maybe over 100 people there. A 3-day camp in Dublin, a training camp there, and Yane and a couple of the other guys came over from C4Ns and all that. And some of the talent there is it's fantastic to see. It's I think the future is definitely very bright. And I think at the moment the thing that's kind of pushing me the most is just being able to be here, watching it, and kind of just helping as much as I can. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of guidance here, or
I see that, and I see you having somebody. Right. If somebody asks you, "Hey, do you got 5 minutes?" I always see you back there, willing and hoping to give advice, and it's incredible to see. Man.
I think that for me is the pay it forward. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily about who I want to wrestle or who I think is the best. The point is that the industry just needs to continue to evolve and continue to get better and continue to be nicer to each other. Do you know what I mean? And I think I feel like that's my most important kind of task and role going forward over the next few years. Is I still have my own personal goals. I still have a lot of bumps and a lot of matches left in me. Do you know what I mean? I'm very under wrestled compared to other people my age. Do you know what I mean? Which is very fortunate for me. So I still have a lot of goals, personally to achieve. But being freelance and being on the independent scene and being able to travel and see the talent that's out there and just helping any way I can and that little bit of guidance, that's the biggest pay it forward for me.
Absolutely. And you know what? I myself, I've got a lot of conversations left in me, but I could say finally I was able to scratch this one off the bucket list. Good. My dude, this has been an incredible honor to sit down with you, to talk with you, to get your opinions on certain situations and share some amazing stories. Trent 7, thank you so much. As always, guys,
Straight
peace, love, and wrestling.
Mustache
Mountain.
All the way from the Mustache Mountain.
All the way.
To you.
To you. That's right, here on Straight Talk Wrestling. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified each time we post a video. Alternatively, you can check us out on all podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. We are also available on the SNME Network. That's the Sunday Night Main Event Patreon. Please feel free to check us out there as well. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at _Straight Talk on Twitter, at Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, Straight Talk Wrestling on Facebook, Straight Talk Wrestling on TikTok, and of course, you can check out all our merch at ProWrestlingTees.com.
I don't need a nigga.